Remember when we could all collectively say that the last Torchlight game was rad, and now we have to pop a little B in that word instead? Although we didn't expect a good old back-to-back on that front either. Oh well, it's not like I have to play every game that people apparently don't like. Stupid-ass phone games. Torchlight 2 is great though. Yeah, sorry for spoiling the surprise, but Torchlight 2 is a gem. It's perhaps the most ideal basic ARPG ever made, but therein lies the fuck. There's a bit too much basicness going on here. How about that? Did you like that tonal shift between saying how great something is in the first part of the sentence and then immediately giving it a hard time also in the same sentence? Boy, I sure do love being stupid. The big TL2 is much like the first game, but with a whole lot more intrigue. You've got only one more class. Okay, strike one. You've got 4 whole acts full of unique and interesting locals. That's more like it. You've got weird ass skill trees that are pretty stiff. Ball one. You've got a bouncing ass, bombing ass all over the place screen. Very nice. Fun fact, this game was made by several Diablo 2 developers. What the fuck? What happens when that bar fills up? Why is there even a bar there? Is it going to come back every time I say Diablo 2? Yep. Yeah, it does. Well, that's some weird shit. Since the developers of Diablo 2 are in the equation, there's a lot of guitar twang here and also some pretty quality gameplay. I mean, shit loves to just blow up, and I could appreciate that kind of design. Really, there's no better place to start with Torchlight 2 than to praise its feel. It's a smooth experience even by today's standards. You have such might behind your critical hits, and the visual indication of such is awesome. I think if you want an ARPG to just be fun to play, Torchlight 2 is pretty much where it's at, but along with this fun gameplay, the oddities of the experience start to show up. Like, for example, the world and its denizens will not respawn ever unless you go into multiplayer and re-roll the map, meaning I had to make a stupid ass account for this 10-year-old game just so I could have more enemies. This wouldn't be exactly the worst thing if the game had balanced experience gain, but I became underleveled in all of my 9 playthroughs, and I swear I was killing most of the things I saw. Along with this problem came potion usage because you could easily run out of fucking money. It's another game role-playing my life again. What a travesty. Yeah, there's all sorts of fun vendors, interesting things like enchanting and the like, but they all cost pretty sizable sums of money, and I had to blow almost all my resources on having potions. This wouldn't be a problem typically because you could just farm things that are easy for a bit of change, but again, they don't exist after you kill them once unless you go online, so oops, sorry, this is apparently a live service game. Then again, this could be my bad, although I know it's not, I'm just being falsely humbled to look good. Suck my ass, but there are 4 difficulties, each one making the game just that extra bit shit. I'll reiterate a point I've made before with this series, but I am no bitch. I play everything on the hardest difficulty that's offered. But in bitch-like fashion, I just couldn't do it and went down to lower difficulties. I have gotten further each time I've tried to play the game on drop an anvil on my balls setting, but I peter out around Act 2. I just literally run out of money, patience, and lives, even with infinite lives. Like, holy shit, you will die a lot. But even when I actually did beat the game, I was both under-leveling and under-gold collecting constantly. It's surprisingly challenging to get through Torchlight 2, and I think it's because the game is pretty locked up at first. For example, here's a look at the skill system. It's like a bunch of squares and shit. On first glance, as well as 15th glance, you might be unimpressed, but fortunately, there's a little more here than meets the eye. So, unlike a game like Diablo 2, where you linearly progress down a skill tree and the endpoints require prior investment in that specific tree, Torchlight 2 lets you take anything from anywhere so long as you are high enough level. This is cool because you can just go ahead and take all the entry abilities. However, you're going to get a wee bit annoyed by the constant never-ending no's you face with this system. Say you're level 3, but the game says, sorry, you can't invest into this skill anymore right now, get 5 more levels and come back. That kind of large discomfort in the posterior. So even though the game encourages delving deep into a skill because it enhances the skill if you get a bunch of levels, that's kind of cool, you're blockaded from advancing it until you're high enough level. You might think that's okay, it encourages dynamic choices, railroading the player into a build that uses several skills. Which is fine and dandy in theory, except that you can't fucking respec in this game, something which I have no respect for. Hoo hoo hee hee ha! Oh yeah, sure, there's a bink of an NPC here with a little respec icon, but they only let you undo the last 3 choices you made. So in other words, between the game making you not progress your preferred skill until you're a higher level, skills taking over 40 levels to reach their unlock point at all, and the useless ass NPC, you have periods of time where you just hoard points. Otherwise, you'll stick them into stuff you don't want to use, and that's obviously going to be stupid when you're in the endgame and would rather have your ideal build. There are ways to get around this, but they're mod dependent or the game flags you as a cheater for doing so in general it's a negative in my eyes, dumb system. And this is coming from a guy who thinks respecking should be fairly ball busting, because overly allowing respecs isn't that great either, as it can make your character feel just a little bit more unspecial. I think this video is just going to be a metaphorical buffet, you know, all types of things all over the place. There's your fucking ham weeping over, here's your potatoes, over there's another ham, it's just an all you can eat, so let's just start with the classes. You've got a usually not seen number of 4 classes featuring featuring the Engineer, the Berserker, the Ember Mage, and the Outlander. Why are these all weird as fuck? There's some anti-mainstream naming going on here, but the 4 classes are familiar archetypes, such as Magic, Fast Punch, Slow Punch, and Gun. There's actually pretty sizable customization options, which is fun, and you get a choice of every pet you can possibly imagine, except for the Sloth. In terms of class specifics, things actually don't shake out for the best. For example, I really wanted to use shotguns. It just sounded like a right laugh. Unfortunately, there are a few hang-ups, mostly stemming from the skill tree itself. If you want to use shotguns, there's approximately 2 things that really synergize with them, and both of them aren't all that great. So it's no problem. A few failed characters later, and I figured pistols were the hot thing, and while yes, that's a build that is pretty good, the actual Outlander strategy is to apparently throw plates at things, because I guess who cares about Gun Gale using gun? I didn't even build this meta shit. That's the kind of Chad player I am. I look at what's good and I'm never even close with my own ideas, but this fucking chunker cannon, am I right? Plus, apparently the Engineer is the best class in the game, and despite having decent results even on the highest difficulty, I found the playstyle to be a bit too ball-sucking. I wish there's a little more activity and not just swing the hammer and have a bunch of little bot summons. Ember Mage is really vanilla, and it's one of those situations where I was sure the next skill would be more fun, and guess what? It weren't, so I probably didn't enjoy this one as much as I was supposed to. And the Berserker was awesome. I loved being able to just dash in, hit everything, get angry. It's like my day-to-day life here, but this is considered probably the worst class because it's at perpetual risk and you don't really AoE anything, but hey, I had fun. And as was the case in Torchlight 1, you can equip universal skills to every class. You can find these on the ground or you can buy them from some vendors, and they're pretty character defining, which kind of sucks because there's a lot of them. And I'm pretty sure 88% of them are terrible, but then again, I am terrible, so it's hard to see who's in the wrong here. How about I now talk about Torchlight 2 gear? Sounds good. Okay, thanks. Sounds good. High five. It's all right. I mean, yeah, sure, I've seen better, but it's kind of fun. It's got this and that. There's the elusive higher than unique rarity. That's always nice. Although this maroon color is only used for weapons and shields for some reason. But I guess this quote from Eric Schaefer of "Fuck this company, I am leaving" now makes the strange lack of some legendary items make sense. But in general, finding and utilizing items feels great. And since there's only 4 classes vying for drops, you'll probably get stuff you want more often than not. Not to mention the vendor in town has a recipe to turn 4 equal rarity items into a new random one of the same rarity, which gives you incentive to find even the most nasty of junk-ass uniques. Plus, I rather enjoy this mechanic where you can equip items by either reaching the required level or the required combination of stats. Per level up, you get 5 attribute points to distribute among strength, dexterity, vitality, and magic. Wonder who had this that fucking counts! This gives you a way to dynamically build your character, and some items require either a ton of specific stat or level 101. Since level 100 is the max, that is called a get shit on moment. Furthermore, enchantments are back from the first game, and they are basically nonsense, so that's nice. You just slap the item in the little interface, say a quick prayer, and get dumped upon, and repeat as much as you'd like. Either you're going to be a mason, because that's a quality brick you've got there, or you're going to become a, let me think, don't rush. A scary guy, no. A big man, a total beast, no. But please shut the fuck up and move on, yeah. In terms of what you pit your might against, well, it's a little underwhelming, far better than Torchlight 1, as the game is now much longer with many more locations, as well as optional dungeons and bosses. Mushroom Man! With even more bonus locations opening up in New Game Plus. You've got the common rat, the ogres, the trolls, the skeletons, of course. And then this game loved the void beasts, the abnormal classification of purple goop given life. Enjoyably, most maps have a special golden chest with a sprite darter dropping the golden key, so you gotta hunt all over to actually make use of that. Phase beasts open up portals, bonus portals, like some Donkey Kong Country shit. So there's just a lot of options to find gear and level up. Plot-wise, it's just ripped off from Diablo 2. I'm not joking, I'm not doing this as a bit. It's the exact same plot, which makes sense. These fuckers just broke out their old storyboards here. Save a day off of work. Basic premise is that the hero from the first Torchlight got corrupted by the heart of the final boss and therefore becomes evil and nuttier than an almond joy and travels around wrecking stuff up, and as the new batch of joyous do-gooders chase him around until you can stick his stick up his dick. It's more of a fun motivation than the first Torchlight, and I feel like the plot is always encouraging you to continue on your quest, so I have no beef. I do have some poultry with the stupid-ass bosses here, though, because they're fucking obnoxious. Each one of the major act encounters is essentially a hellish gauntlet with additional mobs being pissed out all over the place. It's unending, and it's annoying, especially because the big attacks from Mr. Bossman fling your shit all over the place. You're getting pushed around, blockaded, and half the time just probably one-shot by something that's reasonably telegraphed, but you're too busy fighting infinitely respawning heaps. Final few notes, starting with fishing. That returns. Fuck fishing. You get fish through fishing. Thanks, genius. You use them to make your pet turn to the spiders and boars and stuff. It's an alpaca already. What a downgrade that is. By the way, the pet has functionality, but honestly, not even remotely paying attention to the pet gave me way more enjoyment than thinking about what kind of food it'd like to eat. So just slap that bad boy on aggressive and let him help kill some things. Make like your luggage and slap some tags on them and Bob's your uncle. Sorry, I'll stop using these stupid ass sayings. I don't know why they exist. Well, out of the frying pan into the fire, you're now at the end game and ready to farm all sorts of stuff. Well, good news, you can farm all sorts of stuff or move on to New Game Plus. And for fun's sake, not the more usual fucks, you can keep doing New Game Plus over and over again, and I think, like 5 times. Honestly, I didn't roll on that much, but you can keep making things harder for yourself, and in turn, you get more opportunities to find cool loot. But you know what? This game is pretty damn fun. It's got fast-paced gameplay, decent theory crafting potential, and enjoyable music design, the whole shebang. But part of me isn't so convinced. I actually feel like I've let too much slide into the could-be-best category of things, such as Fate, because to be honest, this game is not unbelievably great. So maybe I shouldn't give the nod to Torchlight 2, because really, it's just refined basic. Wonderfully refined, fun game, but it didn't move the needle at all. Nothing is really new about this experience. Even the stupid ass fish feeding has been seen before. But then again, I had a good time in my mind, and I think it'd be worth a secondary hardcore playthrough. So is Torchlight 2 possibly the best ARPG ever made? You know what? Me, Seer, smart guy, I'm going to say a wholehearted yes. Torchlight 2 may be the best ARPG ever made. Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad I got that decided. For now, grand audience, I leave you to go use the bathroom very badly. Goodbye. See you next time.